What's up, everyone? Alex here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I rearranged a little bit. Mostly I just moved my desk back to where it was and then put a shelf in. So, shelf of things. I was hoping the camera angle would be a little bit different, but right now it's not. I don't like it that much. Probably because the background's so far away from where I am, but if I don't like it, I'll rearrange it again, or at least just the way the camera is. I don't have an outline for this video, but I've been putting it off for a while, and I wanted to actually get to it and talk about it. I wanted to talk about dysphoria on a sliding scale, which is sort of something that I covered in the YB3 zine, where I talked about there isn't just gender dysphoria and gender euphoria. There's a lot of different sort of almost checks and balances. It's a series of scales for the most part, or a series of spectra. It's not just one singular spectrum of dysphoric and not dysphoric. It's more that you experience dysphoria or euphoria in different ways depending on what it is. For example, you might have specific body dysphoria, but you might not have specific dysphoria regarding gendered nouns being used to refer to you or pronouns. You might feel dysphoric presenting in a certain way or being dressed a certain way, but then maybe you don't have the body dysphoria, or maybe you don't experience any dysphoria or fluctuating amounts of dysphoria. Someone who experiences exclusively gender euphoria might also have fluctuating amounts, or, they might feel more indifferent towards certain aspects of themselves versus other aspects. Maybe hair or clothing makes you euphoric, but then the gendered pronouns, maybe those make you feel just no levels of euphoria. And some people feel a mix of things. One, especially with multi-gender people who are gender fluid, gender flux, whose genders change over time, either varying in intensity or fluidly moving from one to the other. Somebody might feel dysphoric about something one day, but then not the next because something about their gender has changed in that time, and then they don't feel as badly about that thing. It's a number of different aspects that go into a number of different things that go into dysphoria and euphoria. I'd say dysphoria and euphoria are probably about as variable as gender itself. I think when a lot of people think about the transgender experience, at least just the general public, the assumption is feeling bad about your body, just in general. I don't like this body. Everything makes me dysphoric. I hate my body. Don't call me a woman. Don't use she, her pronouns for me. And I feel like the expectation is that you kind of check all those boxes. Dysphoria about your body, dysphoria about the way you're being referred to. And that isn't always the case. For some people, it is variable. And I think generally we kind of forget about gender euphoria. I think we kind of forget that besides the feeling bad about certain things, not feeling right in your body, or disliking, or it's not really disliking, feeling not so great when somebody refers to you a certain way. I think people also forget that there's things that make us feel good, that make us feel validated, makes us feel we're not faking, or that people are recognizing us. And I definitely have my dysphoric days. I have specific types of body dysphoria, and that tends to fluctuate day to day. Sometimes it's more in the just zone, I don't care either way, and then other times it's severely dysphoric, and it just depends on what kind of day I'm having to begin with, or, you know, how relevant anything about my body is in that given day. Like, sometimes I just get up and get dressed and go to work, and I don't get dressed in front of a mirror or anything like that. So it's really easy for me to just kind of forget the body stuff and just go off to work. But then, like, I do feel specific types of body dysphoria. Specifically, I mean, besides, you know, very personal type of stuff, like when it comes to sex and stuff like that, there's also the dysphoria that comes with clothes that don't fit right. And the older I get, the more weight I'm gaining, and weight is being distributed a little bit differently nowadays, and some of my clothes don't fit as well as they used to. Some of my shirts are a little bit smaller, and a lot of them I absolutely can't wear because I have binders that are, you know, a few years old. They've kind of stretched out. They don't fit me as tightly, and I feel like it's more noticeable with a shirt that's very tight, so I'm very mindful of that. But then at the same time, like, I love my less masculine type of gender presentation. I like wearing a nice cardigan. I like wearing shirts or something of the sort that actually comes from, like, the women's section. It depends. I won't wear a t-shirt that is that like narrow cut that you normally see in, like, the women's section. I don't like those. The sleeves are really short, and then it's meant for a very specific body shape where there's more up here, and then it cuts into the center and then comes out on the hips, and, like, I don't want to accentuate that. And it doesn't look right if I'm wearing a binder and I'm entirely flat chested. So there's stuff like that. But then, like, I like cardigans because they're cute and flowy, and I like the way they look, and they don't have, like, a slim, like, sometimes the sleeves are a little, like, narrow. They fit a little tighter in that regard, but then they're, like, so flowy, and they, like, kind of cover everything. So they are fun to wear in that regard. And I don't really wear, like, women's jeans, even though I'm very short and kind of slender compared to, like men's clothes in general. I usually get my jeans from American Eagle because they have the smaller sizes, and they have that, like, stretchy jean material that I really like. I don't like a tight jean. That makes me feel a little weird. I don't know if it's dysphoria related, but it's definitely that's not my thing at all. Nail polish doesn't make me dysphoric when I wear it. I haven't worn nail polish in so long. I'm a chef. I can't really always wear nail polish because it'll be gone by the end of the day. But I like the nail polish is fun because if I'm passing as a man and I'm passing as, like, a gender non-conforming man, like, that feels euphoric. I don't wear makeup other than that, though. I've dabbled in stuff like that. It was just a fun little thing. I think doing drag would be really fun, but, like, that wouldn't be my, like, everyday thing. Just because I don't know if makeup's super flattering on me. I don't know how to apply makeup as a man because there's very, very few resources on how makeup works on, like, men's faces, on masculine faces, I probably should say. So, like, I don't know how any of that works. I didn't grow up with that kind of thing normalized. I didn't grow up learning how to really do anything other than being a girl. So, I'm kind of in a weird space when it comes to makeup. Like, it'd be cool. Like, I think if I was in a more formal setting that was, like, way more inclusive than I expect, then, like, having makeup would be really cool. Because to me, like, makeup feels like a formality if I'm going to put that much effort in. But, like, kind of indifferent there. Hair makes me dysphoric sometimes. The hair thing is very strange for me because I'd grown my hair out, like, in the last few years, and I had the really long ponytail that I really, really liked. But then recently I just hated the way that I was maintaining it because I had cut the undercut just a little not right. So my hair just like since years ago I've been like cutting my own hair, and sometimes it just doesn't turn out right. And just it reached this point where like I didn't like it that much, so I like shaved it all off, and I'm gonna let it grow back in entirely. And I want to bring the long hair back if it grows in fast enough. But I'm at like a weird spot where like my hair doesn't grow very fast anymore. I think that's just a dietary thing, but I want the long hair again until it becomes too much to maintain, and then I shave it all off. And then I realize I look like my big brother when I cut all my hair off, and it like that kind of makes me a little dysphoric because it's like I've got the masculine hairstyle and face, but then like I'm this like little guy. Like I described the trans male experience as being a wolf in sheep's clothing. So what I actually meant to say in this moment was a sheep in wolf's clothing. I think wording it that way would have had a better impact on the discussion, you know, having to kind of learn how to be a man and externally being able to play the part and look the part, but then internally not really feeling like I fit in with other men. That's what I had meant to say here, and I hate that I messed up saying it, but I'm glad I caught it because I'm kind of mindlessly editing this while I'm doing other stuff, and I'm glad I caught it. So that's all I wanted to say, where I just don't fit in with traditional masculinity. I don't really fit in with other men, and any attempt to do so just makes me feel weird, which is why like my general expression and presentation isn't heavily masculine, because it's not me and I cannot pull that off. But hair can be a thing. Facial hair for sure. I have to have facial hair, even if I trim it really short, which I will be doing soon. I can't just entirely shave my face because I feel like I still have a kind of feminine looking face. I feel like my features are a little too round, especially with me like having gained a bit of weight over the last couple of years. I can't not have the beard. That is my like, this is helping me pass. And there's that, and there's my voice as well. I feel dysphoric about my voice all the time, and I can't do anything about it. Right now, this is just kind of my normal voice because I'm in a space where like it's kind of expected that like people know that I'm trans. In other, like if I'm on a phone call with somebody, like I have to call my bank, or I have to like call for like a job interview or something, I tend to play it up and have my voice a little bit more masculine. I really try. I get mammed all the time on the phone. I get mammed at the drive-thru, and then they see me pull up and they're like, oh shit, whoops. But yeah, voice is, I think that might be one of the like most dysphoric things that I experience is my voice. And right now I'm not on testosterone because I don't have any means to get to my appointments, which is like in a town like 45 minutes away. So as of right now, I'm not on testosterone, so there's no change in my voice over the last probably like 2 years. So there's also that, and voice dysphoria is very common in trans people for sure. Body dysphoria, hair, which could mean head hair, body hair, facial hair, the lack thereof, or the presence of such, because obviously like trans women might deal with the presence of facial hair that makes them really dysphoric, especially since like that's a lot of upkeep, because you can like see the facial hair coming in even when it's just stubble. I cannot imagine how awful it is to have to like deal with this constantly growing in thing. It's just there all the time. You can cover it with makeup, but like you still have to like maintain it and shave it down to nothing constantly, or pluck it, which is like, that's a lot. That's a lot of upkeep. There's that, and then like body dysphoria sucks because like this is very unchanging, other than like you can cover it with clothes of a certain cut or a certain pattern, and you could probably cover a lot of certain features that you're dysphoric about, curves or flat-chestedness or anything otherwise. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just dysphoria and euphoria as varying aspects of the transgender experience. Obviously, some transgender people might not experience gender euphoria. Some transgender people might not experience gender dysphoria. And some might just be entirely indifferent to the entire concept of gender and the various phorias. They might not experience either of them, really. It might just kind of be like I don't care about gender or the way I look or the way you refer to me. And like, that's also normal and okay. I mean, I don't need to be the one to tell you that's okay. Like, people just experience different things, and that should generally just be cool by everybody. So yeah, dysphoria and euphoria, sliding scales, lots of sliding scales, and lots of different things that come together to make this complex identity of things you're comfortable with and things you're not comfortable with. So that's about it, and I'm signing off for now. See you later.